terror attacks in New York City, Shanksville, and Washington, D.C. Find out how the city is honoring those who lost their lives.
A low-risk inmate escaped earlier today while out working in Portage County. Area businesses and schools were warned to lock down and stay alert.
The first presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump took place yesterday evening after much contention. We have all the details later in the show.
A hurricane is expected to make landfall tonight in Louisiana. We've got all the details on what residents in the area can expect.
This is Kent Stater TV.
So much for joining us this Wednesday evening. I'm Liv Sharp.
And I'm Hayden Cruz, and welcome to the very first Wednesday Newscast.
We start this evening with the annual Stowe 9/11 Memorial.
Our own Nikki Gajeski was there to speak to organizers and patrons. Nikki, good evening.
Good evening, guys. It's always a good time to see your faces. Yes, I had the honor to be at today's memorial, this historic day, as able to gather a few moving words and lessons from attendees and organizers.
Come together today to remember. When you say something kind of shocking, I think you're going to find it first. What a beautiful morning.
It truly was a beautiful morning at the Stowe 9/11 Memorial at City Hall, honoring the tragedy 20 years later with an annual tradition.
We have never missed a year, including COVID. We were fortunate that we could be outside, but yes, we've held it every year because we feel the great importance of this.
This local ceremony brought together the Stowe PD Honor Guard and public officials to reflect as a community.
I think it's very important, like today you saw a very good representation of police and fire personnel come to this event so we can remember those that walked before us and those that died in the line of duty doing their actions.
Among the damage of 9/11, like this actual piece from the towers, there seems to be a message of hope in Stowe, especially for their younger generations.
It's been 23 years, but let's educate our young people.
This is also a reminder for everybody.
So this is our Pearl Harbor, it's been said before, and I think it's important that we remember it.
But it was a wake-up call for us, and I think we need to remember that wake-up call. And then going back to my comment about history, let's go ahead and have that history so we remember, so we don't repeat things.
It certainly was a wake-up call for the nation at large. Stowe's mayor did say there are talks of moving the memorial next year, but will still be near City Hall. Moving closer, Kent State had its own way of remembering 9/11 by covering the student green and American flags today. Students from the Young America's Foundation put the flag on the K as a memory of the lives lost. That's all the information I have for you on this tragic September day in recent American history. Reporting for KSTV News, I'm Nikki Gajeski.
Thank you, Nikki. As we mentioned, today is the 23rd anniversary of the terror attacks on the World Trade Center in New York. Moments of silence were held honoring the almost 3,000 lives that were lost. Unfortunately, this year, more first responders have died from post-9/11 illnesses than those who died on the actual day of the attack.
9/11 victim families are continuing to try to hold Saudi Arabia accountable for the terror attacks. They're awaiting a federal judge's pivotal decision in their year-long battle in legal. If the judge rules in favor, it could lead to the public release of never-before-seen evidence. The families claim Saudi Arabia backed an extremist support network that assisted the hijackers in the U.S. Saudi Arabia denies these allegations. The U.S. has long said its strategic Middle East partner had no role in 9/11, and al-Qaeda acted on its own.
At the New York commemoration ceremony, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris shook hands following their debate last night. They met again at the Shankstown Flight 93 Memorial. We'll have more coverage on the debate coming up later.
Kent State, I'm anchor Eli Feddersfield coming to you with tonight's weather. Currently, we are seeing today we have had a high of 81 degrees. We're currently at 81 degrees. We have had a fairly sunny day. No clouds in the sky, very thin ones if we've seen any at all. That is going to be for currently right now at 6 p.m. If we move forward to tonight at midnight, we are going to be seeing a 62 degree. We're going to be at a little bit of a drop there. We're going to be having a clear sky until the morning. We will keep those clear skies with a sunny 7% chance of precipitation. Will be at 58 degrees at 8 a.m. and tomorrow is supposed to be just as sunny as today was. We're going to take a look at our major northeastern cities here in Ohio. Currently in Kent, we are going to be reaching a 79 degrees as we go further into the evening. Cleveland up here with a similar 79 degrees. Sandusky, as we continue over to the west, we're going to have more of a 77 degrees. Mansfield is peaking at 84. Worcester with 82 degrees. And the Akron-Canton area just below us is going to be 82 degrees. As we continue into September, we are reaching the middle of September at this point. We are not seeing that fall weather coming anytime soon, so keep on enjoying these good days while we have them. Make sure to stick around for more from me covering our current statewide weather for this evening, as well as our upcoming forecast for this week. Back to you, Liv and Hayden.
All right, thank you, Eli. An inmate on the loose in Portage County has been arrested. The 31-year-old male was found hiding in a wooded area off South Prospect Street, wearing his orange and white jumpsuit and a red hat. He escaped while out for the inmate work program, which he was able to work since he was a trusty low-level offender. Local schools in the area went on a soft lockdown during the incident, and local residents and businesses were told to lock their doors and use good judgment and caution.
3 schools in the Cleveland area were closed yesterday due to threats made on social media. The Cleveland Art and Social Sciences Academy, Lorain City Schools, and Clearview Local Schools were all notified of possible threats by the FBI. Lorain County School was cleared by bomb-sniffing dogs, and a 12-year-old girl was arrested after admitting to making the threat as a joke. All 3 schools reopened today.
A new sensory wellness space opened today on our Kent campus. The space, once known as Disability inside the university's speech and hearing clinic, has been renovated to allow neurodiverse students and their allies a welcoming space and inclusive environment. Inside, it was divided into different sensory zones, including a quiet space, tables for study, and a space to interact with each other. The sensory wellbeing space is located in room A126 of the Center for the Performing Arts, and hours are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Lace up your skates and get ready to hit the ice. Tonight at the Ice Arena from 9:20 to 10:50, you and your friends can skate for only $5 per person. That covers the cost of skate rental and is only accepted through credit and debit card. No cash. Guests are welcome, but must be 18 years old and accompanied by a KSU student. Admission sales begin 30 minutes prior to the session start time. Skate responsibly.
Well, one small step for Kent, one giant leap for Kent bar kind. Moonbase, Kent's only 18-plus LGBTQ+ bar, is reopening tomorrow. The bar originally opened in February of this year, but closed this summer for renovations. David Haas and Joe Engelhart, who created Moonbase, said they wanted to have an 18-plus, all-inclusive safe space for anyone who wants to have a good time. The bar will also host a weekend full of events, including cosmic karaoke and a drag show. To learn more, visit kentwire.com.
Are you ready to kickstart your career? Kent State is hosting a Meet the Employers event tomorrow from 11 to 1 in the DI Hub. This informal career fair is a great way to learn about job openings, internships, and volunteer opportunities. You can drop by at any time for networking and career advising. You can also shop for pre-professional clothing to make the best first impression.
Last night, the presidential candidates faced off at the president debate. We'll give you all the crucial takeaways from this face-off.
Hurricane Francine is making landfall in the south this evening. Stay tuned for the storm's projected path ahead.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education. No one receives a diploma alone. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back. Last night, former President Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris took the stage for the first presidential debate.
CNN has the full recap.
An historic first meeting between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris may have started with a handshake.
Kamala Harris, let's have a good debate.
Have fun.
Thank you.
But the gloves quickly came off.
What we have done is clean up Donald Trump's mess.
She doesn't have a plan.
Harris drawing contrast with Trump by framing herself as an advocate for the middle class and framing her opponent as in it only for himself.
Donald Trump has no plan for you.
While Trump attempted to tie Harris to President Joe Biden's record,
the people of our country are absolutely dying with what they've done.
In a wide-ranging debate, the two clashed over a number of critical issues, from reproductive rights.
We did something that everybody said couldn't be done, and now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade.
To immigration and border security.
Why hasn't she done it? They've had 3.5 years to fix the border.
What we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
To their visions of and for the country.
We all have so much more in common than what separates us, and we can chart a new way forward.
Our country is being lost. We're a failing nation, and it happened 3.5 years ago.
In Philadelphia, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
A transgender lawmaker has won the Democratic primary for Delaware's only House seat. Sarah McBride, a Delaware native, defeated 3 other Democrats and is expected to win the general election to replace Representative Lisa Blunt Rochester. McBride said in an interview she hopes to be a voice for LGBTQ+ rights in Congress. She was the first transgender intern in the White House in 2012, the first to speak at the Democratic National Convention in 2016, and the first to be elected to a state senate in 2020.
Following the debate last night, singer Taylor Swift took to Instagram to formally endorse Kamala Harris. Swift called Harris, quote, steady-handed and a gifted leader, then encouraged her followers to do their own research and then register to vote. She signed her post, "A Childless Cat Lady," a reference to what VP candidate J.D. Vance called women without kids. Swift endorsed Biden and Harris in the 2020 election.
let's get back to our Kent State and Portage County weather forecast for this Wednesday evening. We'll also take a look at our surrounding areas, including weather statewide. Here in our statewide forecast, we are showing our Akron-Canton area still at a steady 82, being still hot at 6 p.m. tonight. Over here with Toledo, we are also at a steady 82. Columbus with a roaring 88. Cincinnati the same with 88 degrees. And then Athens, Ohio, right towards below here, we have 87 degrees. Pittsburgh is even experiencing some warm weather as well at 82 degrees behind me. Everywhere here, we are still enjoying some of those last bits of summer before we give that all up to enjoy our autumn weather. All right, make sure to check back tomorrow evening for more weather-related content and updates. As always, I am your Wednesday weather anchor, Eli Fetterspiel. See you next week, Portage County.
Thank you again, Eli. A 17-year-old Lakewood girl is still missing. Madison Maddie Rich was reported missing on August 15th after she left her home between 12 and 4:30 a.m. Lakewood police said she was at the Express Inn in Warrensville Heights on August 18th, and that her phone is no longer being pinged, likely because it died or is out of service. Rich is 5'7" and weighs 110 pounds with blonde hair, blue eyes, and a spiderweb tattoo on her right arm. Police and family members of Rich held a news conference this morning begging for her to come home and urge anyone with information to call the police.
Two suspects, DeAndre Morris and Tyrek Green, pled guilty to a number of charges today in a Cleveland court, including arson, possessing criminal tools, and cruelty against companion animals. The residents of the house, Fritas and Cecilia Lee, escaped their house with their 7-month-old baby through a second-floor window. The family's dog, however, was killed in the fire, but their cat returned home safe and unharmed. Tropical storm Francine has strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane as it is expected to make landfall in Louisiana this evening. The sustained winds reached up to 90 miles per hour today, and meteorologists are expecting a foot of rain and a storm surge of 10 feet in some areas. The National Hurricane Center warned, quote, conditions are starting to deteriorate in Louisiana and across the Gulf Coast.
3 major wildfires in Southern California have threatened thousands of homes and buildings. The 3 fires include an airport fire in Orange County, a line fire in the San Bernardino National Forest, and a bridge fire east of Los Angeles. No deaths have been reported, however, 13 injuries have been. These fires were brought on by a triple-digit heat wave that finally broke today. California is heading into the brunt of the wildfire season, but have already seen nearly 3 times as much acreage burn than all of 2023.
The Guards took on the Windy City in a series against the Chicago White Sox. Could they get the sweep?
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
also spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Hello, Portage County. I'm Maddox Miller, and today I'm taking you guys around the wide world of sports. We start tonight, as always, in Kent, Ohio. The Kent State gymnastics team brought in a new face to their gymnastics program today. Head coach Bryce Biggin announced the hiring of assistant coach Tim Lewandowski from Brown University. Lewandowski worked as the primary uneven bars coach. Coach Biggin says Tim brings a wealth of experience, having coached floor, vault, and uneven bars during his time with the Bears. Lewandowski has had 6 USA Gymnastics Collegiate National Qualifiers and a third-place finish at the Gymnastics East Conference Championships. We now head over to Cleveland Guardians, where the Guardians took on the White Sox, and Calman Zardo would get the scoring started with a single into right field, scoring Lane Thomas for an RBI, making it 1-0. In the bottom of the second, pitcher Ben Lively takes a shot off of his leg. This would actually keep Lively out for the rest of the game, creating a bullpen game for the Cleveland Guardians early. Top of the 6th, Lane Thomas with 2 runners on cracks one into left field, a 3-run homer. Lane Thomas's 11th homer of the season, giving Cleveland a 4-0 lead later in the game. We head to the top of the 9th, where to end the scoring, Andres Jimenez would tap a little single into left field and get Stephen Kwan home. This being Andres Jimenez's 58th RBI on the season, as the Cleveland Guardians look to lock up the AL Central here late in the season. Now, since this was a bullpen game in a blowout, pitcher Eric Sambrowski would actually get the closing, and Jose Ramirez would make a phenomenal effort off of the ball hit by Brian Ramos. Ramirez in the replay doesn't make much of a dive and just kind of kneels down as he gives the Guardians the 5-0 lead and the series sweep. Now we actually head to the game today, where the Guards ended their series against the White Sox this afternoon. The Guards won the game 6-4, getting the series sweep and the season series win. Lane Thomas notched 4 RBIs and Austin Edges homered. Matthew Boyd went 4 1/3 inning with 6 hits and 1 earned run with 9 strikeouts. The Guards return home to take on Tampa tomorrow night. That's all I have for you tonight. To keep up to date on all things Kent sports, follow TV2 KSU Sports on all platforms. I'm Maddox Miller, and have a great night, Portage County.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
We've got another biopic in the works with a familiar face as the star. Here's Rick Damigella with the Hollywood Minute.
Shailene Woodley will play legendary rocker Janis Joplin in an upcoming biopic. Woodley will both star in and produce the film, which will be shot in California after receiving a tax credit from the California Film Commission.
I want you to please him, and in return, you will gain my unyielding favor, all that's required to make you a star.
Ian McKellen plays a scheming theater reviewer in the new period thriller The Critic, and shares how much fun it is to portray characters with a dark side.
It's the nasty characters who often have the best lines. If you think of Richard III, Shakespeare, or Iago, Shakespeare, Macbeth, all pretty horrible people who do dreadful things, but they speak Shakespeare's words, and so that sort of makes it all right.
The Critic arrives in theaters Friday. Larry David takes his show on the road. The Curb Your Enthusiasm star is bringing his A Conversation with Larry David live show to 10 cities across the United States beginning September 20th in Denver. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
In Rhode Island, a boy spent years growing his hair out just so he could cut it all off and donate it for a good cause. 14-year-old Emilio Santana, who wrestles independently for St. Raphael Academy, had hair that measured 2 feet long. He made it his mission to grow out his hair so he could donate it to someone in need, even if it got in the way of wrestling. Emilio's hair was donated to Hair We Share, a nonprofit that makes wigs for sick kids at no charge. He's even taken things a step further with a fundraiser to cover the cost to make the wigs.
One of music's biggest nights is finally here. The VMAs broadcast live at 8 p.m. as your favorite musicians compete for Moon Men. This ceremony is hosted by Megan Thee Stallion, and there will be performances by Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, and Eminem. The star-studded show will also feature Lil Nas X, Flavor Flav, and even Paris Hilton as presenters. You can watch all the action on MTV. Hayden, are you excited to watch the VMAs tonight?
You know what? Actually, I am. I'm a big fan of a fair amount of those stars, and I think they're going to do great tonight. I think it's going to be a sweeping success for everyone.
Oh, absolutely. I'm really excited to see Chappell Roan's performance.
Oh, of course.
It's going to be hot to go, and everyone at the VMAs is going to be doing HOCTOGO.
Or do you think it's going to be Good Luck, Babe? I feel like that one is a little bit more popular now.
You know what? It might be. You know, why not both? They have
why
like
not
5 minutes. Why not a new song? Play Subway, please, Chappell. Anyways, I'm also excited to see Taylor Swift because there's rumors that she might release Reputation tonight or like announce it. I'm really excited for that because, you know, at the VMAs, that was where Kanye first interrupted her on stage, which started their years-long beef, which eventually went into Reputation.
Yeah.
You a Swiftie, Hayden?
No.
Okay.
I only cared about Beyonce during that whole fight.
Yeah, Beyonce's very cool too. You know who else I love? Sabrina Carpenter. She had a spectacular album.
She did.
She's gonna be performing tonight.
Good for her. But
You
Beyonce,
bet.
those visuals are coming out
100%.
for her new album, so good for her.
Yeah, that's all the time we have left for the night. Thank you for joining us.
For the latest updates on these stories that impact our community, go to the Kent Wired website and follow us on social media. I'm Hayden Cruz.
And I'm Liv Sharp. Have a great night, Portage County.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk.